now we are going to be we are going to be discuss one by one immunosuppressant. First immunosuppressors are drugs which inhibit, okay, inhibit interleukin 2 synthesis production. Okay, example, first drug is cyclosporin. Chemistry, cyclosporin is a peptide. Okay, cyclosporin is a fungal peptide. Cyclosporin is a fungal peptide composed of amino acid. It is a peptide actually. Okay, chemically it is a peptide in nature. So mechanism of actions. So with the diagram you came to know very well. Okay, so this first, okay, this first step, what is the first step? Okay, uh, what is the first step? So cyclosporin enter into T lymphocytes, where it is bind with cyclophilin. Okay, cyclosporin, so the name, the pronunciation also similar. Cyclophilin is a protein, is highly affinity for cyclosporin. Okay, so then cyclophilin is going to be activated after binding of cyclosporin. Okay, now there is a formation of cyclophilin complex. Okay, cyclophilin complex, that complex which inhibit, okay, calcineurin, that inhibit calcineurin. Okay, what is calcineurin? Calcineurin is a protein, is going to be activated by calcium. Okay, that's why it's called as calcineurin. So once the calcineurin is activated, okay, the T proliferation is going to be further process, so that this our drug cyclosporin and cyclophilin complex which enter in complex is inhibit the cycloneurin, calcineurin. Once the calcineurin is inhibited, there is no conversion of protein taking place from one phase to other phase. Example here is a NFATC. Okay, NFATC. So this is the one of the transcription factor. Okay, so NFACT is a transcription factor. Generally it is present in inactive, okay, in the form of phosphorylation form. Okay, if you see the picture, it is clearly indicate that phosphorylation form of NFACT is inactive. Okay, what is this molecule? Is a transcription factor. Once calcineurin is going to be activated, that going to be converted from inactive form to active form, so by the process of dephosphorylations. Okay, so active form of transcription factor is going to be translocated from cytosol to nucleus, where they bind to the DNA molecule and promote the transcription of interleukin genes. Okay, interleukin genes, that interleukin genes after transcription, the genes mRNA is going to undergo translation. After translation, produce more amount of interleukins from the activated T lymphocytes. These interleukin 2 is going to be released from activated T lymphocytes, which acting on the same T lymphocytes, they do proliferation, more amount of T lymphocytes. More amount of T lymphocytes means is going to be activate both cellular immunity and as well as the, okay, humoral immunity. Okay, ultimately there is a chances of, especially this going to be activate cellular immunity. Okay, cellular immunity, humoral immunity, so which causes organ transplantation resections. Okay, so this is about the brief description about mechanism of actions. Okay, so here again I will repeat once again. Cyclosporin bind with cyclophilin intracellular protein receptor. Cyclosporin immunophilin complex inhibit the calcineurin. Okay, next, what is calcineurin? Is a phosphatase necessary for dephosphorylation of the transcription factor required for interleukin synthesis. Okay, what is NFACT? Nuclear factor of activated T cells. Okay, so which is going to be suppress the cellular immunity. Okay, cell mediated immunity. Okay, is going to be inhibit cell mediated immunity. This is about mechanism of action of cyclosporin. So there is a normal pharmacokinetics. Please refer once again. Oral absorption is delayed by fatty meal. So next, it is going to be metabolism in the liver, and the metabolites are excreted through bile. Uses already I told you, simple. Okay, they only two uses. One is to prevent organ transplant rejection like kidney, liver. Okay, so next they are also used for the treatment of autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, psoriasis. uh, Next is hemolytic anemia. So these are all the uses. Okay, next adverse effects. Major adverse effects of cyclosporin is nephrotoxicity. Nephrotoxicity. So that should not combine with other nephrotoxic drugs like NSAIDs, aminoglycosides. Okay, amphotericin B. Okay, aminoglycosides. Okay, so which are going to be further aggravate the nephrotoxicity, and liver failure also they happen, and hypertension, hyperkalemia is also happen, hyperglycemia. So getting off, I've already told. Suppose whenever there is an infection, immunity is suppressed, there is a chances of getting viral infections, especially herpes and cytomegalovirus. Okay, and also there is a development of lymphomas also. Okay, lymphoma predisposed to development lymphoma. Hirsutism one problem. Hirsutism is nothing but development of unwanted hairs. Okay, especially it is a problem in females. Okay, it is also have neurotoxicity, very important. Gum hyperplasia. So gum hyperplasia. Okay, so this is the, so generally it is given by IV route. Definitely there is a chance of getting anaphylactic reactions. So these are the so many side effects associated with cyclosporin. Okay, right. Next is drug interactions. It is a common one, drug interactions. So enzyme inhibitors decrease the its clearance. The inducers increase the clearance. Okay. Next drug is tacrolimus. Okay. So already we discussed cyclosporin. Next drug is tacrolimus. Again, tacrolimus is a macrolide antibiotic. Okay, chemically not related to cyclosporin. Okay, but both have similar mechanism of actions. Okay, similar mechanism of actions. Okay, but what is the internal receptors for the binding tacrolimus is not cyclophilin, it is other one, immunophilin. Okay, this immunophilin is also called as FK binding protein. FK binding protein. So cyclosporin bind, they form active complex with cyclophilin, but tacrolimus bind with FK protein. So there is a formation of tacrolimus FK FK binding protein complex. This complex inhibit the calcineurin. Okay, so both are calcineurin inhibitors, tacrolimus and cyclosporin. So the way inhibit the cyclosporin is different. So cyclosporin form active complex with the cyclophilin, tacrolimus form active complex with FK binding proteins. After formation of complex, ultimately they inhibit calcineurin. So for the calcineurin, with this there is no activation of transcription factors. So there is a stoppage of transcription of interleukin gene, further decrease the production of interleukin amount. So with this there is a suppression of cellular immunity. Okay, so which leads to immunosuppression. Okay, right. So this is about mechanism of actions. So kinetics generally given by oral, IV, in sometime it is also given by topical applications. Next, metabolism in the liver is normal process. Uses as like cyclosporin is also used for the treatment of autoimmune disorders, and also used to prevent the transplantation of organs like liver, kidney, so on. Okay, toxic effects, same toxicity, nephrotoxicity, neurotoxicity. Okay, but more than with cyclosporin. Okay, nephrotoxicity, neurotoxicity, hyperglycemia, hyperkalemia, hypertension. But there is no hirsutism, there is no gum hyperplasia. Okay, so even drug interaction also as like cyclosporin, like enzyme inducers increase its clearance, enzyme inhibitors decrease its clearance. Okay, so what is the major difference with cyclosporin and 1 minute? Okay, with cyclosporin and tacrolimus is more favorable than cyclosporin because it is more potent than cyclosporin, and tacrolimus has decreased episodes of rejection, and tacrolimus if combined with glucocorticoids you can lower the dose of glucocorticoids. But tacrolimus is a more nephrotoxic and neurotoxic than cyclosporin. Okay, so this is about the interleukin production drugs, inhibition drugs. One more drugs which inhibit the interleukin production, example sirolimus. Okay, tacrolimus, sirolimus, for saying they both are same but the mechanism is different, please keep in mind. Okay, sirolimus is a macrolide antibody, is also same antibiotic. It is derived from fungus, but it bind to one it's same like tacrolimus is also bind with FK binding protein, same. Okay, sirolimus also bind with FK binding protein, and the tacrolimus also binding protein, but the targets is different. Okay, so once sirolimus and FK binding protein complex is formed, that complex is going to be binding with one more protein that is called mTOR, small m and capital T, capital O, capital R, mTOR. What is mTOR stands for mammalian targets of rifamycin. Mammalian targets of rifamycin. So what is mTOR? What is mTOR? So mTOR is also one of the cell proliferation promoter. Okay, it is one of the protein which is responsible for proliferation of cell. How is happening? By it promote the, it move the cell cycle from one phase to other phase. Actually, you know, in cancer drugs, while discussing with in the anti-cancer drug, we discussed. So that is nothing but cell cycle, G0, G1, yes, G2, M. So this mTOR is going. So whenever there is a excessive levels of mTOR or over activation of mTOR, which causes progression of cell cycle, okay, which leads to there is a proliferation of T cells happening. Okay, mTOR will stimulate the cell cycle move from one phase to other phase, which finally results into there is a promotion of T cell proliferations. Okay, but previous drugs, they stop the interleukin 2 production, with this they stop the T cell proliferation, activation and proliferation. But here directly you are going to be inhibit the T cell proliferations. Okay, so if you, so that there is a so that it having the anti-proliferative activity. So right, so not only proliferation, beta cell proliferation, and also inhibit the immunoglobulin production, so that it mainly affect, okay, humoral immunity. Okay, humoral immunity. Okay, tacrolimus and cyclosporin mainly inhibit the cell mediated immunity. It is mainly inhibit the, okay, B cell proliferation and immunoglobulin production, so that mainly inhibit the humoral mediated immunity. Okay, so this is the mechanism of action. By seeing a diagram, you came to know mechanism of action very clearly. So here sirolimus enter into the T lymphocytes, where they bind to FK binding protein, form active complex. So after that inhibit the mTOR. So mTOR whenever you inhibit, so that the cells are not moving, not proliferated even in the presence of interleukin 2. Okay, so that, so they mainly stop the influence of interleukin 2 proliferate activity. Okay, set pharmacokinetics they're given by, okay, so this is all same. Same again, immunosuppressive effect, anti-proliferate action equal to it, uses also same, that is used for transplant resection, and also some autoimmune disorders. Okay, toxic effects, majorly it have hyperlipidemia. Okay, majorly hyperlipidemia, and there is a thrombocytopenia, leukopenia, hepatotoxicity, hypertension, and DA disturbances. Leukopenia is the major problem. So decrease in leukopenia, there is a chances of getting infections. Okay, so without any hesitation, you can write the adverse effects as a getting of secondary infections. You can write secondary infections like bacterial infections, mycobacterium TB, next diarrhea, viral infections such as herpes, cytomegalovirus, fungal infection like candida fungi. You can these side effects are inbuilt, you can write, no problem, no issue. Okay, so whenever you are not getting side effects with okay, drugs. Okay, next. Okay, so up to now you are completed about interleukin 2 production, and as well as the one more drug is called as a sirolimus. Okay, so next is corticosteroids. Corticosteroids, which are comes under inhibitors of cytokine gene expression. So need not be restrict the classification of immunosuppressants. What I am expressing in this PPT. You can refer any test. You can write your own. If you are not comfortable with this classification, okay, you can go for other classification which is given in other textbook. So whatever the classification you comfortable, you can write. Okay, so but this is about things. Okay, but ultimate thing is this one. Okay, so